Hello, and welcome to another episode of Living the Midlife Dream with me, Danielle Mauger. Thank you so much for being here, guys. If you are watching this on YouTube, you aren't really watching it, are you? This is the first time I'm not doing a video. I'm just going to keep it real. I didn't need the pressure this week. I had something I wanted to talk about, and it's like a whole big production with the lighting and everything else and putting on makeup and all this stuff to come on here and do a podcast. And I'm like, why am I doing that to myself? I don't need to do that. I can just talk into a microphone and have my readers on and not have a soul look at me. So if you're on YouTube, you're just looking at a nice static picture. So enjoy. This is going to be short and sweet today. I wanted to talk about something I posted about the other day about how midlife health, wellness, fitness, all these things, it's overwhelmingly complicated, it seems, these days. And I just wanted to really talk about it because it's been bugging me and it's probably bugging you too. You get on social media just to scroll, relax, and it's like you're suddenly being bombarded with like, make sure you're wearing a weighted vest. Are you getting enough protein? Did you hit your 10,000 steps? Lift heavy. Now, I am guilty of saying that. Lift heavy. And this is the worst one. By the way, are you taking your microdose of a GLP-1? That seems to be everywhere in the past. I know it's been out there for a while, but in the past 2 weeks, I have really seen it blow up in my feed with midlife women influencers talking and selling, kind of being like affiliates for these microdosing of GLP-1s. And it's just like, okay, this is what like really put me over the edge. It's like, come on now. Do we really need to be doing all this? It's like, why does this have to be so freaking complicated? And I am just here to tell you that it does not. I'm not saying these things don't have value. Of course they do. I'm on Instagram every single day talking about strength training for one thing. But I just feel the way that it's blasted at us, it feels like if you're not doing all of it, you might as well just throw in the towel and do nothing. And I feel like for women, especially in midlife, who we already have a million things going on, our hormones are completely out of whack. We don't need to start feeling like things are impossible. We need to feel that things are relatable, and we need to feel that they are attainable. I definitely have some clients that have said to me, if I was at the point where it's like, okay, well, geez, this person's telling me I have to lift 5 days a week. And if I'm not doing that, should I even bother? Is it even worth it to lift 3 days a week? Which, by the way, of course it is. Same thing with like the protein. Am I just wasting my time if I'm not hitting that big high protein goal? You're never wasting your time when you're trying to be a little bit healthier and a little bit stronger. And I also cannot handle the people that are on here on social media talking about biohacking your metabolism. It's just like, come on. We don't need to be doing all this. I just want all of you to feel the way I do, which is strong and healthy. I feel that when you lift weights, you feel strong, you feel empowered. It's like the best feeling in the world, and you automatically have confidence. So that's what we are going after here. I think too, everybody that's on social media is a quote unquote expert now. And I feel that a lot of them are missing context. They're giving advice as if everyone has the same body, the same lifestyle, the same hormonal changes, and the same energy. And it's just not true. I don't think that's cool. It's not cool at all. When I took my nutrition course, gosh, it's been like 5 years now, I learned about bioindividuality. And, that's so true. It's just like, just because something works for one person does not mean it works for everybody. So when people come on here onto social media and they're telling you that they have cracked the code and here's what you got to do, great, it worked for them and it may work for you, but it doesn't mean it's absolutely going to work for you. And when you try to apply their formula or their program that they're selling to you, the reality is that sometimes, most of the time, it doesn't fit. And then we end up feeling like the problem is us, but we're not the problem. The noise and all of this nonsense is the problem. So I'm going to get into this and tell you what has actually helped me in postmenopause. I've shared before that, I went through perimenopause. What a ride. And I feel as though I am still on this ride. To be honest, I guess we're just always on this ride. Every now and then my mom will still tell me that she gets hot flashes and it's like, okay, cool. I can't wait. I still look forward to this stuff. But I think for the most part, yes, things have definitely calmed down. And when I was in the early stages of postmenopause, that's when I really decided to get back down to business, stop messing around. And what I did was I just got back down to the basics. So it's eating more food. I do track my food. I do it very loosely now, but when I was really trying to get back into it and recomp my body, I definitely followed macros and I followed them to a T for the most part. I do suggest, of course, first of all, you don't have to do macros, but I highly suggest to everybody do it for a couple weeks and learn and see what macros work for you. And then you get to see what a real portion size. And the other cool thing you can do too is really when you're following macros, plan out some meals and then you can always repeat things. Then you don't have to be worrying about, you don't have to be tracking things and weighing and measuring. You're just like, okay, I'm going to have my yogurt bowl today and this is how I make it. And this is how I know the macros fit. So that's just a side note there. But what I did was I got back down to the basics. So I ate more real food. And if you're following me right now on social media, you'll see that I'm trying to back away from the protein powders and bars. I'm not going to lie and say that I don't have them at all. On day 6 as I'm recording this, but I have not had any bars. So for me, that's a big win. I was just finding that I was relying too heavily on them. And so I just felt it wasn't healthy. And I'd rather save bars for times where I'm traveling or I'm out all day and I'm going to need to, bring something with me. I'm okay with having, a serving of protein powder or a shake or something every day, but it was like I was having more than one serving of the powders and multiple bars. So, well, not multiple, but I was having a bar a day. Okay. Anyway, so eating more food, less processed, lifting weights 4 to 5 times a week. And I want to talk about this because I know that some people think you need to work out 6 days a week. And by working out, I mean lifting heavy weights. I have never been a person that really could do 6 days a week. I feel that if you are in the gym and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you are lifting and you're doing progressive overload and you are really challenging yourself and pushing, I'm not sure how you're doing 6 days a week with no recoveries. And so I was doing 5 days and I came to feel like really inflamed. I felt irritable. I was holding water, like retaining water. My weight was going up. This was all like last month. And I just backed off to 4 days and it is amazing. So to be totally honest with you, I was nervous to do that because, we just think in our heads like, oh my God, no, if I go back down to 4 days, what's going to happen? I got news flash for you. I actually feel so much better lifting 4 days a week and completely recovering 3 days a week. That just means I'll go for long walks and things, but I'm not lifting any weights. I'm not running. I'm not hopping, skipping, or jumping. I'm not doing any type of other cardio. And it feels amazing. So if you're doing all the things, you're not seeing any results, that could be something you're not taking seriously enough, which is recovery. So I would look into that if I were you. And I just sort of touched on walking. That was my next thing. I do aim for 10,000 steps a day, but I'm going to also say that I do not beat myself up if I'm like, I had 8,000 steps today. Okay, I had 8,000 steps today. And some days I'll have 12 and some I have 8 and some I have 10. It all works out. I just feel like I'm not freaking out over it. And you shouldn't either. Sleeping, I sleep like a baby now. And actually, that's such a dumb cliche. Is that what that is? Is that a cliche? It's such a stupid phrase. Babies don't sleep. But I sleep really, really well now. And that is something I would highly advise. I mean, we are in bed at 9 o'clock. I will read my Kindle. I'm asleep by 9:30 most nights. And then I'm up around 5:30 or 6 just because, I'm getting my full 8 hours and it feels absolutely amazing. I am a morning person, but I don't think it matters when you go to sleep and when you wake up. I would just try to aim for those 8 hours of sleep. It feels incredible. And the last thing that I've done that has made a big difference is, well, it's a 2-part thing. Number 1, I don't care what anybody thinks about me anymore. And number 2, I am so much nicer to myself. So much nicer. I don't beat myself up anymore about trivial matters. such as how do I look today? I didn't, work out enough yesterday, all those things that I just talked about. I am just so much nicer to myself, and I try to find a non-scale victory every day. I do, or every week, sorry. And I also have all of my clients do that as well. I ask them every week when they check in to give me a non-scale victory, because we are worth so much more than what the scale says, what our pant size is. Like, let's talk about what exciting things happened in your life this week, or what are you proud of yourself for that has nothing to do with the scale. So I would encourage you to do the same thing. So, I mean, that's really it. It's not like magical. There's no big hacks. There's no pressure to be perfect. It's just really, I think nobody ever wants to hear this, but it's so true. It's paring down to the basics, being consistent, and just showing up and pushing and driving. Get in there, do your workout, and then get the heck out. You're done. It's over. Move on with your life. We don't need to be like obsessing about all these things and wearing the weighted vest and eating so much protein. Like, I just think if you weigh 100 pounds, try to get 100 grams of protein in a day. It's not that complicated. You are allowed to simplify your life. You are allowed to trust yourself. You know what to do, and you know your body. You're allowed to opt out of all of this nonsense that is on social media. Sometimes it's just like, if I see one more recipe, a reel for a recipe that is a high protein recipe, and it's like cottage cheese and egg whites and some other disgusting crap that they're putting into a blender and blending it up and then baking it. It's like, come on, I just want to eat real food. I think it's still diet culture. I'm telling you, just get down to the basics, the basics, the basics. Lift weights, eat healthy 80% of the time. The other 20%, you can enjoy yourself. I'm going to share something funny. The other night, Kevin and I were out to dinner, and he says, yeah, remember when I used to talk about meals that matter? And I'm like, what are you talking? I said, no, I don't remember that. And he's like, how can you not remember that? Meals that matter. I said, I don't remember. What is it? Remind me. And he's like, well, I just feel like, when you're at home, those are the meals that matter. You can make them really healthy, but when you go out to eat, you should be able to go out to dinner and enjoy and have fun. And I said, yeah, okay. That's basically the 80-20 rule. It's just a different way of saying the 80-20 rule. And he said, well, yeah, I guess it is. He goes, but meals that matter sounds better. And if you want to use that, share it with your clients, you can do that. So I said, okay, thank you, sir. But I will say the man is onto something. Yes, it is another way of saying 80-20, but it's also a way of saying, hey, listen, make your meals at home healthy. And then when you go out, enjoy it. Go out maybe once a week. We're not talking about you're going out to dinner more than twice a week, right? And take out and all that stuff. No, make your meals at home count, and then enjoy yourself when you go to a party. You go out and have fun with your family, your friends, your husband who talks about meals that matter. So just keep this in mind. Social media is a highlight reel. A lot of what you're seeing, it's filtered, it's scripted, it's performed. I mean, take it from me. I'm on there all the time posting, and it's not like I just open up my camera and I go to town and then post it. No, I have to think about it. I got to do a couple of takes. It's like, I'm just keeping it real. It's a highlight reel. And, actually earlier today, I posted something and I got a message back from somebody asking me, well, actually, her comment to me was, it seems like a lot of your meals are missing fat. Why is that? And, I messaged back to her and I said, no, they're not really missing fat, but what she doesn't know is what I weigh, my height, my goals for myself, the macros that I'm following are going to be different than something she's following, right? And I said to her all of that stuff, but it's also like you're just seeing a snapshot, literally a snapshot. A screenshot is what I put up of a meal to give everybody an idea of how to get more protein in your diet without using powders and bars. That was my purpose of posting it. And it's just to give an idea. But for her to say you don't have a lot of fat in your meals, she's looking at a picture of one meal. So just keep that in mind. I'm just sharing that because anytime you're on social media, you are literally seeing a snapshot of someone's day, right? So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to come on and reiterate, drive home for everyone to come back to basics, tune out all of this noise, and do what works for you, and let that be enough. You are a midlife woman. You are strong. You are capable. You've totally got this. You've done way harder things in life, like I always like to say. Certainly, you have done way harder things in life than to figure out how much protein and what workout to do for the day. You can do this. So if this episode gave you a little clarity, maybe some peace, I want you to share it with another friend of yours who might need to hear the same thing today. And until next time, go lift some weights, eat what you want. Don't go overboard, but eat what you want and rest like it's your job. I want you to treat your rest and recovery with the same respect that you do with your workouts. And above all, I hope you have an amazing week ahead. I will see you next week.